Hello everyone. My name is Abdul Karim Albajal. I am a student at Winston-Salem State University, CLS student, I should say. I'm an online student. Um, Currently, I am working at the Naval Medical Center, Quantico. I am active duty Navy. At this moment, I am in California. I'm supposed to be in Virginia, and yesterday I just found out that I'm flying to California for some training. So excuse all this mess. I don't have my poster with me today, so I'm just reading you off the paper that I just pretty much scrambled. Well, let's get started. My paper that I'm doing today is about comparing the platelet retention and platelet count and white blood cell counts of different platelet pooling system. So pretty much we are just comparing the platelet retention, the platelet count, the white blood cell count on three different pooling system, which are the Baxter, the PAL, and the Tromo. Three different pooling system: Baxter, PAL, and Tromo. We will be doing this study on patients from different centers or different stations, the donor centers. The main ones are the Fort Bragg and the Cape Fear Valley Blood Donor Center. The patient population will be just random donors who meet the standard of blood donor center criteria for donating blood. So pretty much people that who is not sick, who does not have any, I should say not sick, but I should say who does not have any viral diseases, HIV, stuff like that. Also, people who have not stayed a long time in overseas, greater than 2 years, in, for example, in Africa, or the past 7 to 10 years in the Kingdom of Britain. Okay, so and then we have the so like I said, we have the three different systems that we will be talking about today. Also, the whole blood. What we're gonna do, we're gonna use whole blood. Um, Whole blood will be drawn into a triple or quad collection bag system containing the anticoagulant citrate phosphate dextrose. The platelet-rich plasma method will be used to collect the platelet. And then in order to keep the pH greater than 6.2 during the storage, 50 ml of plasma will be collected with platelet to mix it up. Okay, so now the Baxter system that we're talking about today, we will prepare pooled platelet concentrates using whole blood processed within 8 hours of collection. 8 hours of collection. This product will consist of 10 Buffy coats and 5 plasma units. That's the Baxter. Now the PAL, or the PAL, will prepare pooled platelet concentrates using whole blood that has been stored overnight whole blood. And now the Tromo will be used pool platelet concentrates that will have the white blood cell counts removed from it. So the Tromo pooled platelet concentrates that are prepared by Tromo will have the white blood cell removed from the product. Okay, the Womack Army Medical Center and Cape Fear Valley Center will be testing sites because of the high number of platelet concentrates that are transfused annually. Each facility has a culture for the automated platelet and white blood cell counts. We will be using, we will be testing these, of course, prior to the transfusion platelet concentrates. A blood sample of complete blood count and a platelet count has to be performed. prior to transfusion and post to transfusion, 24-hour before and 24-hour after, to test to see the levels. Okay. Okay, and the data that we will collect, the data will be analyzed on the statistical version 14.0 SPSS computer software. 3 different groups will be studied based on times of collection. The first group is the data prior to transfusion. The second group is 1 hour after transfusion, and the third group is 24-hour after transfusion. 3 groups. The SSPS, which is the computer software, will compare the platelet retention, the platelet count, and white blood cell of the different pooling system. Okay, so we talk about the methods and the materials that we'll be using. Now we're going to talk about the result, what we got from the study. Okay, in this study, platelet concentrates will be compared from 3 different pooling systems: whole blood processed within 8 hours of collection and pooled with 10 Buffy coats and 5 plasma units; whole blood processed after being stored overnight and pooled with 500 units of ABO specific type; and whole blood processed with the white blood cell removed. A total of 780 patients participated in the study over a 6 months period. Of those participants, 338 of the patients have received 1 round of chemotherapy. 260 of the patients have received 2 rounds of chemotherapy, and 182 patients have received 3 rounds. A decrease in platelet retention, platelet count, and white blood cells is expected in samples drawn before transfusion. In samples collected 1 hour after transfusion of platelet concentrates, there were no significant change in platelet retention, platelet count, and or white blood cell count. However, samples that collected 24 hours after transfusion, the platelet count will be 40% higher using the PAL pooling system. Also, the PAL pooling system will have a platelet retention increase of 11%. There will be no significant difference noticed in the white blood cell count of the pooling system. The amount of the chemotherapy received by patient does not have any effect. Okay. So what we conclude in the study? The conclusion is that the study will show that the different pooling systems play no significant role in platelet count. No significant role. They're all the same. They all produce the same numbers at the end of the transfusion. The platelet retention or white blood cell counts. So we can use either or. Any system will do the same work pretty much. When compared to studies that compare whole blood platelet concentrates, white blood concentrates prepared after 8 hours, and those prepared after being stored overnight, the result will be similar. So this is pretty much my study or the paper that I had to do, and I hope you enjoyed. I mean, I'm sorry I don't have